Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of WNBA Top Prize Picks Plays presented by Prize Picks. I'm Cooper Bonai for OddsShopper. You guys can follow me on social media at CrashboardsDFS. Before we hop into my two favorite Prize Picks plays for tonight, guys, wanted to go ahead and review our picks from last game. We got hosed again. I'm not fond of saying things like that, but we got hosed again. 2 nights ago, we played Natisha Heidemann over 9.5 points. She came out, had 8 early points in the first quarter. She did not score again. She did not play the second half. So that was rough. Following that up with last night, we played Ryan Howard over 1.5 turnovers. She had 2 turnovers in the first quarter. At halftime, the stats keepers actually pulled one of the turnovers, putting her back down to 1, and she did not have a turnover for the rest of the game. So that was unfortunate. Our other pick last night was Natasha Cloud over 22.5 PRA. They won in blowout fashion. She did not play the final 13 minutes of the game. She came out with 3 minutes left in the third quarter and did not enter at all in the fourth quarter. That's 13 minutes that she missed out on. Only played about 20 minutes because of the blowout. So two unfortunate situations after a very unfortunate night the night before, guys. We're just trying to get back on track here. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our picks that we have for tonight, guys. We're going to start with Lexie Hull over 8.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So wanted to note, guys, Lexie Hull saw increased run last game due to injuries, and she had a big second half. For the game, she dropped 22 points, rebounds, and assists in 26 minutes. While I don't necessarily expect that same type of performance out of Lexie Hull, I do expect her to play a similar amount of minutes. And this points, rebounds, and assist total just seems very low for someone that should see around 25 minutes and was the 6th overall pick in the draft this season. They like Lexie Hull. She's obviously a great perimeter defender, but she's capable of scoring as well. Had a 36-point game at Stanford. She's capable of putting the ball in the hoop, and she's capable of grabbing some rebounds, dishing the rock as well. So I'm excited to see what she does in her increased run. Indiana's very bad, and they are injured. So we are getting to the point in the year where I expect the team to really give some of their younger players a shot. We've seen moments from Hull, Destiny Henderson, players like that. I like this spot for Indiana's young pieces with no Kelsey Mitchell, no Tiffany Mitchell available. Every Indiana game does have the potential to be a blowout, which always provides opportunities for the team's backups and their role players or the players that are getting more minutes due to injury. So really like the idea of no matter how this game goes, Lexie Hull should see a nice chunk of minutes. I'm thinking around 25, maybe more. She's played 24 or more minutes 3 times this season. That includes last game. She has hit this PRA number in all 3 games that she's played 24 or more minutes this year. That gives me confidence going into the game. Also wanted to note, guys, the last note I have for this one is that the shot attempts have looked promising recently. She's averaged 23 minutes per game over the last 2, and she has 8 field goal attempts per game in those 2 games. Like I said, this is a good opportunity for Hull to get in, shoot the rock, play with the team. The team has an opportunity to see what Lexie Hull's made of. It's the end of the season. The Fever are extremely bad. They're extremely beat up. So this looks like a good spot for Lexie Hull to come in, play 25 minutes, and definitely drop over 8.5 PRA. Before we hop into the second and final pick of my night, guys, I wanted to mention, as always, this show is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a fantastic daily fantasy service, guys. You can bet 2 to 5 slip parlays. You can do 2 pick slips, 3 pick slips. You can do all the way up to 5 pick slips. You can run flex plays or power plays, depending on how confident you are. That'll just determine if you need to win all of your bets in the parlay to make money, or if you just need to win a few of the bets in the parlay to make money. You can kind of base everything off how you're feeling that night. So definitely go get involved over there, guys. They have a first match deposit up to $100 if you use the promo code AWESEMO. That's AWESEMO. Go ahead and get involved over there, guys. That is a nice free little promo for you, and that's free money. So I really would not miss out on that as long as they have it up. Again, that promo code is going to be AWESEMO. For podcast listeners, it's spelled AWESEMO. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and hop into my second and final pick of the night. This pick's going to come from the same game, guys. I have Kayla Thornton over 22.5 fantasy score. So looking at her chart here, guys, she's been playing some great all-around basketball as of late. Over her last 5, she has averaged a fantasy score of 29.4, which is about 7 points higher than they have this prop set at. In that span, she has hit in all 5 games and had 2 games where she scored over 30 fantasy points. She played against Indiana just 5 games ago and finished with a fantasy score of 32.1, so about 10 points over this prop. She has played 30 or more minutes in 6 of her last 7 games, so the minutes are there. That has provided plenty of opportunity to stuff the stat sheet. In those 6 games that she's played 30 or more minutes, Thornton has averaged 2 stocks per game, which has meant 6 fantasy points on stocks alone. That leaves just around 17 fantasy points or so to be scored. And she has not had a hard time recently accumulating 17 fantasy points just from points, rebounds, and assists. Also worth noting, guys, that she is averaging less than 1 turnover per game over her last 5 games. So she's not been losing any fantasy points to turnovers, and she's been getting steals and blocks. As I always mention, guys, steals and blocks, 3 fantasy points each, while a turnover is a -1. She's been averaging less than 1 turnover and 2 steals and blocks per game. So we're looking at over 5 fantasy points per game just on steals and blocks alone. And the last thing I had here, guys, is that simply put, Indiana is the worst defensive team in the league in terms of points per game allowed. They are also a bottom 4 rebounding team, and that is an area where Kayla Thornton has excelled this year. Over her last 5 games, Thornton has averaged 8 rebounds per game. And last time she played against Indiana, like I said, just 5 games ago or so, she tallied 8 boards. So she was very successful against them on the glass last time they matched up. I expect much of the same this time. Queen Egbo not been playing well. A lot of these Indiana players not been playing well, and this team's been getting blown out a decent bit. So I'm expecting some good games from a few of these Dallas Wings players. Definitely love this Kayla Thornton over fantasy score pick, considering she's hit by a decent margin over her last 5 games. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for me. A bit of a shorter video, but I just want to go ahead and get right into those 2 picks. Like I said, a couple of tough nights. So let's hope that tonight we can kind of bounce back, win a couple of these. I'd love to go 2-0. I will take a 1-1 at this point, but I'd love to go 2-0. I'm thinking Lexie Hull over 8.5 PRA. She can really get it done tonight. And same goes for Kayla Thornton. Like I said, she's been playing great basketball. She's been stuffing the stat sheet. So I'm looking for Kayla Thornton to have a good game against Indiana. As always, you guys, make sure you like and subscribe to the OddsShopper YouTube page. A lot of content coming out each and every day. Get notified whenever we post new things. You can get involved in any sport that you're into. We have UFC, PGA, MLB. Obviously, now we have WNBA. You guys like and subscribe. Get notified. Comment whenever you feel like it, interact with us, and let's hopefully win some money tonight, guys. I will be back not tomorrow, but the next day, and we will go over these bets and we'll see how everyone did, and we'll talk about some new slips that we want to place for that night. Until then, guys, I'm Cooper Bonai for OddsShopper. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and hopefully everybody wins some money tonight. Later.